All right, welcome now to this next video in the Marketing Basics for Beginners email series with Mr. Henry Vargas. So, congratulations! I'm really excited for you. I know you've gotten if you've gotten to this far to this video and you've taken the action step by step along the way. Let me congratulate you because you're a lot farther than 90% of the people who say they want to start something online. So now we're going to talk about something really important, and it's an email. Right now, ideally, you want to have statistically proven. It says that people need at least between 7 and 14 contacts before they make a decision. So here's what ideally you would want to do is have a 14 to 21 email series where you provide content to the people who sign up to your email subscription, right, to your email list. Now, some of the content might be just free value. Some of the emails might be, just rapport building, letting the people know a little bit about you, kind of like building that relationship more. And some of the emails might be sales emails. So, what the most important thing, I'm not going to go into the details about creating an email series. What we are going to go over real quickly is how to write the welcome email. So now, once you're in again in your drip dashboard, we're going to click on campaigns, and we're going to go back to the campaign that we've been working on throughout this entire example. So we're going to click on True Love Works Marketing Agency, and that's going to take us to the campaign settings. And once the page loads, you see there are several tabs as I shared in the other video. It's important to set those all up. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click on emails. And now, as you can see, there's one here, which if it's not there, you can click on add email, but it should be there because when you create the account, or I'm sorry, the campaign, it normally generates it by itself. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on edit. And so now we're at this screen where we're going to actually write the first email, which is going to be a welcome email. It's going to be a general email. I'm gonna write something out, and then I'll come back in and explain each piece briefly. Okay, so this is not gonna be a training on how to write emails or copywriting, because that's a whole other training. You can get the advanced training for that. But am gonna go over quickly what I did just in this welcome email. Now, it's very important. The first thing I need to emphasize is this. You see here where it says subscriber.firstnone's name. Now, that's known as a merge code, and almost actually every autoresponder service offers that. And what that does is that personalizes the email with the subscriber's name, whether or their first name or their last name. There's different merge codes, but I like to use just the first name. So when you're evaluating autoresponder services, make sure that it has that option, and that's why I encourage you to use Drip, because it's a great place to start. So as you can see, the subject line, again, just being brief, should be something that captures their attention. It should be something that makes them say, hey, this is interesting, or it should be something that reminds them of where they were at of your site. So as you can see, it's hey, first name, it's Mr. Henry Vargas. It seems almost like they know me already, like there's trust, because it's just saying, hey, it's me. You know what I mean? Like we're friends and they're remembering me. So it's very important, and you want to personalize, always personalize the subject line. And as you can see also down here, hey, first name, again, it's very crucial. Can't emphasize enough how important it is to personalize these emails. So now let's go ahead and scroll down. And of course, depending which autoresponder service you use, the code merge codes are different places. For Drip, you can click on Personalize, and it's going to give you all these different options that you can look through to personalize and customize the email address. But that's more, you can click around and find it there. So now let's scroll down now into the actual body of the email. As you can see, hey, first name, I'm so glad you decided to subscribe. Just as an FYI, even though I go by Mr. Henry Vargas, I'm not as serious and boring as that sounds. I'm actually quite a fun guy. Now, what's going to happen here, this welcome email is an introduction to you, independent of however they got on your list, right? They have to know that you're the one speaking to them, and they have to know that you have value to give them. And you want to make sure in your communications, I'm going to give you 3 quick principles that I always share, because these are like the basic elements. First is the IU ratio, okay? So what that means is for every time you use an I statement, like I this or I that or I'm so glad, right? You use a phrase that contains the word you or their name at least 3 times. So for every I, that I speak, every I statement I make, I should make 3 you statements where you are presented with a benefit. So let's go ahead and go through that again. As you can see, I'm so glad that you decided to subscribe. Just as an FYI, even though I go by Mr. Henry Vargas, I'm not as serious, and that sounds as that sounds, I'm actually quite a fun guy. So what I'm doing is I'm not directly saying you, but I'm letting them know, hey, listen, I'm actually a fun guy. You want to portray your personality, communicate your personality in your communications. So the first thing is the IU ratio, right? The second thing is you want to speak to them from where they're at in the language that they already know. And the third thing is you want to try to, from a marketer's point of view, you want to enter the conversation that they're already having. So those are just 3 quick points. And I'm going to go on and explain the rest of this email for you. So it says, Mr. Henry Vargas started as a little joke I had with a couple of my mentors, and this is true. This is all genuine, right? As a joke with a couple of my mentors, and it kind of just stuck, which is fine because I am serious, but only when it's necessary. Because life is too short to be serious all the time. So what I'm doing is communicating my personality. I'm building rapport with them at this point, right? And so we continue down. It says, anyhow, first name, I promised you an audio. Ooh, I had a typo there. An audio about how to integrate the customer love system into your business, and here's the link for that. And then this link is going to take them to the podcast, right? And to make a link, to make something active as a link, you simply double click on it, highlight it. You can click here or Control K. Those are details that you can figure out on your own. So now as we continue on, it says, take a listen and let me know if you'd like some help implementing it into your business or life. You might be wondering what you can expect as far as content from me. So take a listen and let me know if you'd like some help implementing into your business or life. What I'm doing here is it's a very soft sell, a very soft close, because I'm not trying to sell them yet. I don't want them to think I'm selling them. I want them to think that I'm just building relationship because that's what I'm doing. I'm really just building relationship. Even though I made that super soft offer, it's not it's very passive, and they're not going to feel offended. Because why? Because then I followed up with, you might be wondering what you can expect as far as content from me, and I let them know. Well, most everything will revolve around these 3 topics: love and relationships, arts and creativity, business growth, and marketing, right? Because those, for me, that's what the majority of the content that I'm going to be sharing. Now again, you have to keep this in line with you, with who you are. It has to resonate with who you are as a human being, right? At your core, so that you can communicate that genuineness in your emails. And why these 3 subjects? Because they really are my 3 greatest passions. So let me make an edit real quick. Well, most everything will revolve around these topics. Will it revolve around these 3 topics that I've learned a lot about through mentoring and through through personal experience, mentoring, or taught directly by God. Now, you may not agree with that statement, but that's truly my people who follow me, who my audience are gonna understand that. Now, that might offend some people. Some people are like, what? God taught you directly? Who do you think you are? There's a lot of things behind that, but don't worry about it. And it's not just a marketing tactic. It's genuinely what they're going to be receiving from, because it's things that I've learned from personal experience, from being mentored, and things that God has taught me directly in my time of intimacy with Him. So let's continue on, shall we? Then it says, these are my greatest passions and what I've spent the majority of my life learning about and experimenting. I like to share my unorthodox but absolute truths about love, arts, and business. Oftentimes controversial, but always reverent. So you can see it's kind of like a little bit of humor, serious but not so serious, because that's my personality type. Is I'm very very energetic, very playful, if you will, but serious when it needs to be, because truth needs to be serious, right? So anyway, that's just communicating my personality. And then it says, welcome again to my community, and I'm looking forward to providing you with lots of great value. That was this. And then peace and success, Mr. Henry Vargas, and then your domain name again. And then P.S. If you didn't have a chance to request your free social media evaluation, click here to request it. Okay, so just a few quick things about writing an email. Number one, always, always, always personalize. Number two, communicate with who you are, how you are. Use your personality. Be genuine and transparent in your communications because that's what's going to pull people to follow you, right? Third thing, always include a call to action. Even if it's, visit my page, even if it's, check out this audio I found or whatever it is, there has to always be a call to action. Or if it's to share the email, because human nature is I'm not going to take action unless I'm asked, right? For the majority of people, so that's why you have to guide them, which I did. As you can see, there's actually two calls to action. One is here's the link, and actually this is not a call to action. This is just saying, okay, here's the link that I promised you I was going to give you, right? Here's the audio. The real call to action is down here at the bottom in my PS, which is the next point. Always have a PS in all of your emails with a call to action. If you didn't have a chance to request your free social media evaluation, click here to request it. See, it's telling them to do something. Otherwise, they won't do anything for the majority of people. And always include your website or email address, but since they're already on your list, they should have that. So you always include your website, right? Because that's the purpose of the personal branding that we've been doing. So you want to make sure you include your email address. And that is about everything that you need to do. And you want to make sure that this email goes out immediately as soon as they confirm their email address. And so that is basically how you write a welcome email.